And good evening, good afternoon, good morning from wherever you are watching here in the Philippines or from all over the world. And welcome to my podcast, the RJ Ledesma Podcast. In the RJ Ledesma Podcast, I like to interview the country's pioneering and trailblazing business personalities and entrepreneurs to learn more about how they think about doing business. What are their success secrets? Can we replicate those same success secrets? How have they innovated? How have they evolved their businesses during this pandemic? And more importantly, what opportunities do they see emerging in the new normal? Now, is there a business personality or entrepreneur that you would like me to interview here on the podcast? Please do let me know. Drop me a message. I would love to learn from them just as much as you would. We are live right now on Kumu, CBRC TV, Global Pinas TV, and the Bounce Back Network. Tonight, a guest who's very great friend of mine, great entrepreneur. I am so impressed by her accomplishments. I have tonight the CEO of iFranchise, which is an innovative leader in the franchising industry. She is Krizzia Ann Loyang Tanabe. In iFranchise, they specialize in developing, marketing, and managing businesses across key industries like food, beverage, beauty, wellness, fuel, among just others that they have here right now. And her mission is to help other Filipinos achieve their dreams of owning a business. And I'm sure all of you will be all inspired by her very humble beginnings and to just how big she's grown the business right now. Because of her advocacy, because of her mission to help other people grow their own businesses, she has been included in the Global Inspirational Women to look out for in 2022 by the UAE-based Prodigy Global Network. At the same time, she's got a lot more other accolades that I want to share with you during the course of my discussion with her. Please welcome my good friend, Krizzia. Krizzia, welcome to the show. Salamat sa oras. Ay, nakamute ka, my dear. Nakamute ka lang, sis.
Hello, Idol RJ. Thank you. Thank you so much for your introduction. Thank you for your time inviting me as well.
Siyempre, I had to have you here because your story has been very inspiring. I want you to be able to share your story. And people are already saying right now, my good friend, si Wyrie Estosi. Boss Wyrie, sabi niyo, wow, you've got Krizzia over here in the show, and Rodolfo Monticalvo Celespara watching. Congrats! Thanks so much for watching the show here right now. Una-una sa lahat, di ba? Yung mga hindi pa nakakaalam or hindi pa naririnig yung iFranchise, I just want to let people know just how big is iFranchise right now, because sa pagkakaintindi ko, you develop many franchise concepts, di ba? Basically, that's what you do. And we'll discuss that a bit later on. But right now, how old is iFranchise right now? Ilang years na ba?
Yeah, RJ, we're already 5 years, turning 5. It's on the 5th year.
On the 5th year. And then, how many franchises do you have right now?
Well, before the pandemic, we're very fortunate. Sobrang more than maybe 500 to 600 franchises all over the Philippines. But
Wow.
unfortunately, because of the challenges of the pandemic, we pushed our franchises to put on hold, especially those in the malls. But thank God we're growing. We're nag-bounce back na ulit after the pandemic. So we're growing. We're again yung unstoppable growth ulit. Sir RJ, dire-diretso na naman. So, we're very proud that is even during and after the pandemic, maganda at maayos naman po yung takbo ng business.
Oh, fantastic. But even though in 5 years, 500 to 600 franchises, that means that you're opening 100 new franchises every year. At hindi lang yan sa Luzon. Actually, yung franchises mo go all the way from Luzon to Mindanao. That's the amazing thing, right?
Yes. Up to Marawi, Sir RJ.
Up to Marawi. Up to Marawi. Well, incredible. That's the incredible story over here. And the bigger thing about yung kwento natin ngayon, no, is the idea that you've been so successful in what you've been doing that you've been actually noticed by other media publications. So the first one I think that people need to know about is this one in UAE. How did they find out about you being a very inspirational woman to look out for? How did you feel when you got that award?
Well, of course, I feel honored po. I received an email from this prestigious list of women leaders who have made an impact both in the industry and society. So it was really an honor for me, Sir RJ, no? And this serves as an inspiration also for me as a CEO to continue to push boundaries towards excellence and of course the service to our kababayans, our OFWs, and I'm so very proud po to represent Philippines because during that event po, we were awarded, I guess, two Filipinas
Wow. Out
from,
out of out of out of the world, dalawang Pinay lang nandyan.
yes po, yes po.
Oh, at yung, but I want people to know also as well, that there's so many great stories of our OFWs who've come home. Like for me, the biggest OFW story for me is David Almirol of Multisys na I think it was either Iraq or Afghanistan pa siya naging napadpad bilang isang entrepreneur. Akala niya magiging computer programmer. Actually, ginawang janitor muna. But he rose the ranks, learned so much, and then eventually he was able to put up Multisys. And I'm sure Mamaya Conte will talk about your own OFW story as well because it's truly inspiring. But at the same time, hindi lang yan yung mga award mo. You got another award from Mega Publishing, right?
Yes, 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 Arjun. April issue po was featured as the cover of Mega Women magazine. Of course, grateful din po for the Mega team for choosing me to be their Mega Women issue for month of April.
At hindi lang yan, may isa pa, di ba? One more to go, di ba? Good things come in threes. Ano yung
Yeah.
pangatlo?
Your Tatler. Oh, there's one more also. Lifestyle
Oh, wow.
Asia, iFarm.
Wow. So
The
you're
new,
really...
the
Sige,
newest
continue
pro-
please.
the newest project that we just launched, that is iFarm, or iFarm Hotel and Resort in Tagaytay. So we just also featured by Lifestyle Asia,
Wow.
followed by the Mega after the People Asia magazine also.
So People Asia, Mega, Lifestyle Asia, Tatler, you're exploding. You're going all over the place here right now, and I think it's truly wonderful what you're doing. I think I can see it because the advocacy coming from you is, sinasabi ni Simon Sinek sa libro niya, diba, Start with Why. You're doing a great business, but at the same time, yung why mo is nakakatulong ka sa mga kapwa mong Pilipino. And I think that that's really where the business is coming from. Like Camille De Los Santos is saying over here, such an inspiration. She's saying there right now in our chat box. So thanks so much, Camille, for sharing that over here. So can you tell me a bit more? I described what iFranchise was earlier on, but more or less kung mag-explain ka sa isang investor, ano ba yung iFranchise? What's it all about, Krizzia? Can you explain to me parang if you were to pitch it the concept to me?
Oh yeah, siguro po Boss RJ is for me iFranchise is a business with a purpose. So it's a franchising firm in the Philippines that focus on entrepreneurship, giving job employment for Filipinos, and giving back to the community. We have different business concepts in the Philippines, in our country today. Of course, mga pandemic-proof business, just like pharmacy, convenience store, which is iPharma, iFuel business, food business, food caravan, and um, going into real estate na din. So,
Wow.
yeah, now we had a very challenging start in our business, but we're very, very proud that 5 taon na po ang iFranchise kasama ang ating iFamily. I called my franchises and employees, brokers, as iFamily. So we call them iFamily. We treated our as another group of family. Naiisa po yung mission to fuel the Filipino future, and of course to reach their goals in life, to help their family, to give them a better greener pasture, and of course opportunity to everyone.
Oh, so there's so many different concepts that you started off with. Now, I want to go back more to, kumbaga, tinatawag nila secret origin because yung iFranchise is the result of your own, I guess, experiences. And, like I said, no, why I'm so glad to have you is because your example here is bilang isang self-made businesswoman. I mean, this is not something that you inherited. This is something that you built from scratch. So I want to go back a bit more, Krizzia, and get a bit more of your story. What were the, kumbaga, yung mga elements sa buhay mo which led to the development of iFranchise. So let's start off, I guess, let's start off with college. What were you doing when you were in college? Were you ready? Were you, or even when you were younger, were you ready? Talagang businesswoman ka na talagang entrepreneur ka nung bata ka pa. How did things start off for you?
Yeah, I had a very challenging start in my life, Sir RJ. I'm a probinsyana. I'm from
Mhm.
Northern Samar. I came from a very humble beginning. I grew up with my grandparents. My mom is a former OFW as well. So, during my college days, working student po ako, nagtatrabaho ako sa Jollibee. And then at the same time, nag-aaral ako sa University of Makati. I took up broadcasting. After that, at age of 21, I'm already an overseas Filipino worker. Nakipagsapalaran na sa Singapore. Syempre to have a greener pasture, to have a good living for my family. And then when I went back home, doon ako nagsimula ng pagnenegosyo. So I had many
Can I
obstacles.
just ask muna, so when you were in Singapore, anong trabaho mo sa Singapore ng time na yan bilang OFW?
Food and beverage industry.
What were you doing? Were you serving? Were you the manager? What was your job there?
Manager of this wine restaurant, and I also had on-job training in one of the five-star hotels in Singapore.
Okay. And then, bakit ka umalis sa Singapore? Why didn't you continue working there?
Because as a typical OFW po, the realization is that was nagpapadala ka every month. So, ambisyosa po kasi ako. I think yun yung isang dahilan din. I want to really have a good future for my family. And I guess if I stayed longer in Singapore, mas mabagal. Sabi ko, I want to have my own business in the Philippines. Well, I had no formal business background. I learned along the way nung nagninegosyo
Dyan sa Singapore or nung uwi ka na dito?
nung umuwi na po sa Pilipinas. So I
Okay.
started as I franchise one of franchise concept here in the Philippines na
So dyan ka na-start sa franchise. So you came home over here and the first thing that you did was yung, but before that one, anong napulot mo lang dyan sa stay mo sa Singapore? What was the key learning that you got from us working as an OFW in Singapore for you?
As an OFW po siguro, syempre yung hindi ganun kadali, hard earned money lahat ng pinapadala mo sa pamilya mo, hindi ganun kadali. So every time nga na may nami-meet ako, RJ, na mga overseas Filipino workers na nagbe-business with iFranchise, I was once like them before. Nafi-feel ko sila kasi alam ko kung gaano kahirap at ka-challenge yung magtrabaho sa ibang bansa, malayo sa pamilya mo dahil gusto mong magkaroon ng mas magandang buhay yung pamilya mo. So every time I look back from my past, I would really appreciate the time and the moment ng overseas Filipino worker po ako na Because I always start and end my task every day with a prayer. Lagi kong naiisip na yung hirap at pagod ng isang OFW hindi talaga gano'n kadali. And yung sacrifices talaga nila malalim kasi they have to choose going out from our country, mapalayo sa pamilya nila para lang po mabigay yung tama at pangarap nila para sa mga anak nila, para sa magulang nila, or para sa buong pamilya nila. So siguro looking back from my past, it's always such an inspiration lalo na sa mga bagong bayani natin, yung mga overseas Filipino workers. Saludo talaga ako sa kanila kasi ako din po napagdaanan ko kung ano yung napapagdaanan ng isang overseas Filipino worker.
Wow. I just want to comment over here. I want to just read out the comment ni Jonathan Gutierrez sa chat box. Very proud and fully inspired since day one. Ka-work ko si Boss Krizzia for 11 years. Talagang hashtag iFam niyan talaga. So mamaya content. Mga Jonathan, pwede kayo magkwento ko dito sa show natin mamaya. Tungkol sa how is Krizzia as a boss. So, nung una ka napatpat sa Pilipinas, I mean, and you had no business background, how did you know that you wanted to choose franchising as or to get a franchise as your first business over here? At yung pera ginamit mo ba dyan ay yung unang, parang yung puhunan mo dyan, yun yung kinita mo dyan sa Singapore? Tell me a bit more about that.
Naipon from Singapore, and then I think, but if I would remember, parang meron pa akong nahiram from my grandma yata na naipadala ko na kailangan kong idagdag para sa puhunan ko. Parang pinadala ko, hiramin ko ulit kasi idadagdag ko po sa pampuhunan sa negosyo. So, parang way back, I guess 10 or 9 years ago, I choose to franchise, to do business with franchising company. Kasi ayoko na pong mag-trial and error by my own. Because I don't want to waste my time as an entrepreneur. Gusto ko po mas mabilis akong maging umasenso. And at the same time, I need guidance to do. Sabi ko nga, I'm not from the professional background of business before. And I learned along the way na lang. It was a disadvantage sometimes also for being young and as a woman because not everyone would believe in you. But what sustained me while I was building my company, my business, and eventually, because of my mission that every Filipinos will be given a chance through entrepreneurship and job employment, siguro po yung mas malalim na naging sekreto kaya mas lalong umunlad and gumanda yung takbo ng pagninegosyo. Because I think, Boss RJ, to create a business or to execute a business, siguro po it's not just all just having the mindset of having a bigger purpose in mind to make a profit, but of course, how can you be offering a good service to your customers, to the consumers, and to syempre sa mga Pilipino dito sa bansa natin. Hindi madali pag negosyo, but sabi ko nga lagi, paulit-ulit ko pong sinasabi that at the end of the day, it is between marriage between the franchisor and the franchisee. So, kailangan talaga yung cooperation, coordination, and I'm very proud that during the time na ako yung franchisee, I always go in my mind po to follow good guidelines from my franchisor. In fact, there was a time in myself that I give also my suggestion na, and then later part, they got me as their vice president in franchising. And their
so parang inabsorb ka nila.
Oo. But I would remember also before, Boss RJ, yung mga pwesto ko, I look for a good places. Yung first franchise stores ko, I opened 3 stores 3 stores.
Kaagad-agad or nag-start ka muna ng isa?
I started with 3 stores agad.
3 kaagad? Wow! Ang lakas ng loob mo.
Because I found 3 good locations. And I don't want to miss the chance to open my business with these 3 good locations. So I found this call center concessionaire slot na binigyan ako agad ng 3 branches nila. So from there, I opened the business, executed it. I hired 6 people. If I'm not mistaken, 6 na po agad yung empleyado ko. Sarap lang ng feeling kasi pag uwi mo, nasa OFW ka sa ibang bansa, empleyado ka, pag uwi mo ng Pilipinas, may empleyado ka naman na. 6 na yung empleyado mo. So, alam mo
agad-agad.
yung the challenges, and of course, yung satisfaction na nakakatulong ka sa kapwa mo, nakakapagbigay ka ng oportunidad, employment, and of course, nafe-feel mo na nakakatulong sila sa pamilya nila. So, it's the great opportunity and achievement for me as an entrepreneur, a startup
Simula.
entrepreneur.
Yeah. So, ang ibig sabihin niyan, you started, this is what I'm curious about. You started 3 businesses kaagad. Unang-una,
Guys.
saan mo nakuha yung lakas ng loob mo na magsimula ka agad ng because I know that, because some people, they're risk averse. You're a first-time entrepreneur, but sabi mo, igagabol mo talaga at, talagang gagawin mo yan. At pangalawa, paano pinili yung franchise na, kasi there's so many franchises available. Can you tell me, do you mind telling me what was your parang criteria to choose the franchise that you did?
Oh, before, if I would remember, OFW ako, RJ, hindi ako noon naging picky kung sinong kumpanya yung pupuntahan ko. Basta alam ko kahit anong negosyo pasukin ko, kaya ko siyang gawin kasi pagkain. Kaya ko siyang ibenta kasi alam ko.
So pagkain muna, diyan ka simula. Si
Yes.
first franchise mo, pagkain yan. Okay. Okay. What kind of food, if you don't mind? Can you tell me what franchise you started off with? Is that okay with you?
Yes. Before, shawarma and siomai.
Yun yung pinaka-first franchise mo. Shawarma.
Siomai, siopaw, parang mga juice na may mga parang zagu, parang ganyan.
Lahat magkasama sa isang franchise? Parang
Yes.
ganyan?
Yes, parang 4 na concept sa isang franchise. Tapos dinala ko siya sa call center as a concessionaire. And then the call center slot or space asked me na yung mga hindi niluluto na mauusok. So mga ganon. So maganda po yung naging flow ng business eh.
Okay. So those are the first 3 businesses that you did. Now, and then finally, the company that you got it from, your franchisor, asked you to become VP for franchising. Bakit ikaw yung pinili maging VP for franchising? Anong story diyan?
I'm always pushing them to be focused on after sales, because ako as operator ng business, I know and experience how hard it was to manage a business without a proper guidance from the franchisor. So I always took this chance to talk with my previous boss before to manage well the franchising and then highlight and focus on after sales support to our clients. Then from there, I also submitted some of my ideas, creations about tailor fitting, good concepts based on the target market ng every locations na nakukuha ko. So siguro na-appreciate niya yung ideas. Then from there, he offered me to be the vice president of marketing. Then from there, it leads me na to have my own company.
Okay, I love that kwento over there. So una-una, all the learnings that you got from Singapore to run your F&B, nagamit mo rin dito sa franchising mo, di ba? I mean, for your first 3 franchises.
Perfectly match with my experience because I came from food and beverage industry. Then when I went back home, food business yung napasok ko. So parang yung experience and knowledge about handling food and beverage business, mas naging madali po sa akin.
Got that. Now, so when you're the VP for franchising of that company, and you said eventually dyan ka rin natuto dyan, di ba? When was the point that you finally said it's time for me to set up na my own type of franchising business? How long did that? What was that motivated you? What was the incident, or what was the key thing that made you say, okay, it's time for me to put up my own already?
Yeah, I think I stayed, if I'm not mistaken, boss RJ, I stayed for 6 years with this company before. And then since I'm a fearless leader, I'm risk taker, I'm not I have this strong determination and self-confidence that I want to develop more and more and more concepts. And with my previous company kasi before, parang kung ano meron yun na. So from there, I offered him also a partnership and politely I asked him that I want to open my own company. Because I want to offer more opportunity to our kababayans because I have this good fight feeling lagi for OFWs because ako po ay galing sa pagiging OFW. So siguro
Mhm.
yun yung naging heart and origin ng recipe to create my own company.
But so ano ginawa ng owner? Did he agree? He said, I guess he said, hanggang dito lang kami. Then you said, no, but I have more ambition. Parang ganyan. Yun ang,
And then, in fact, he offered partnership. Kaya lang, eventually, siguro magkaiba lang po talaga yung goals. Kasi pag innovative leader ka, fearless ka, risk taker ka. And then, there were differences lang from the past that I want to grow with people. Kasi, when I manage my business po kasi, Sir RJ, it was a combination of being hands-on and delegating it to my team. So, minsan magkakaiba-iba po kasi yung perspective ng entrepreneur. So, ako,
that's right.
I'm very workaholic, I'm very hands-on, but at the same time, I love delegating the task to my team. And I'm very lucky then to have a good group, a good team na talagang very cooperative with the vision and mission of the company.
Can I ask lang, where did you get your fearless risk taker attitude and yung entrepreneurial drive mo? I mean, I'm just trying to look at your background. I mean, I'm so impressed, di ba? But you were, technically you were employed and you went over here to work in the franchising. But iba yung risk taker mo, di ba? It's parang it's a big time and you're really thinking of I have bigger dreams. Where did that come from? Where did that motivation come from for you?
Um, I had a very challenging life story, Sir RJ, no, that maybe pushed me to become more risk to become risk taker and
Oh,
fearless. Kasi siguro yung blood of being Waray nun, being Bisaya, isa na din sa naging way siguro na gano'n, no? And then, coming from a humble beginning, nakita ko yung grandparents ko before na nag-raise, who raised me in from my humble beginning. Nakita ko sila kung gaano din ka-entrepreneur. Umakyat sa farm namin before. Habang nagko-copra, are you familiar with the copra, Sir RJ? Alam mo
mhm.
um, yung galing sa puno ng nyog? Kasi I
Oh,
came from a farmer's family eh. So, ang main livelihood namin noon is yung pagko-copra. Yung nagbebenta kami ng kopra para meron kaming sustain sa mga pangangailangan namin sa araw-araw. So nakita ko yung struggle ng grandparents ko before na yung nakita ko sa kanila na lahat ng paraan pwedeng pasukin basta maayos and maayos na paghahanap buhay. So nakikita ko at the same time na doon sila sa bukid nagko-kopra and then on the other hand nagbebenta ng cigarettes, bread sa mga farmers, naglalako kami. I was young that time. Maybe I was during my primary school,
years. Oh.
primary years pa. So, with that, they challenged me. Siguro poverty challenged me to really work hard. And with the realization from being an overseas Filipino worker, if you're not a risk taker, I think nothing will happen. Because nowadays, especially, pandemic taught us how to be strong and to be fearless. If you're not, if it requires you kasi to have the self-confidence and determination once you're fearless and risk taker. But as long as calculated risk naman lahat ng pinapasok mo, I think nothing is impossible for you to achieve whatever you have, whatever goals you have and dreams you want to your family.
Oh, I want to just read another comment here sa chat box from Arian Martinez. Thank you, CEO Krizzia, for bringing out the best in your employees and for being an inspiration to Filipino people. Heart, heart, heart. So proud to be part of the hashtag iFamily. And there are several other people over here. Jake Lanuso Adige saying hashtag iFranchise 100%. Gian Ramirez, iFranchise Heart. At si Ryan Repuya. Love, love, love. iFranchise Krizzia Ann Loyang Tanabe. Ayan, marami kang fans dito. Pati si Jay Garigage giving us a lot of hearts over here right now. Um, so let's go back now to your story. After you decided to put up your own company, um, what were you going to do different from the company that you just left? Kasi usually sinasabi natin, di ba, kung gagayahin mo lang, di ba, there's nothing different. what was the key difference that you wanted to do when you first set up iFranchise that would be different from the previous company that you had just left? In terms of business model, in terms of innovation, what was that?
Um, to start, RJ, syempre, yung difference talaga is, of course, sleepless nights. Mas marami ka ng sleepless nights ngayon because you're very hands-on, you work hard on your business. I miss the time na kagaya before nung hindi ganun kaayos yung kumpanya na napasukan mo. So, syempre, dami mong tulog. But now, since you're very hands-on, mas client-oriented ka sa ginagawa mo. I miss the chance to sleep because having the responsibility to safeguard not just the business but also the welfare of your employees, of your
Mhm.
clients, of your brokers or family, and that keeps me going for long hours. But the not all concepts I have worked on would work out. But for me, it's more um it's more about the people that I have worked with and trained. And siguro the greatest satisfaction is when you see your people happy, you see your clients very satisfied on the service that you gave from the franchise that they purchased. Um, Uncomparable po from the previous companies that you work with because you know how to handle it well. And siguro the value lang is really the combination of being hands-on and to properly delegate it to a good team and responsible that can be really trusted to work with, because you're not just to execute a business is not easy, but it's not impossible to succeed.
I got that. And what I want to find out really, what I find very interesting or very impressive is the idea that in 5 years you were able to build 500 franchises. And I'm looking at other companies right now; they're struggling just to hit 20, 30 franchises in several years. But you were able to really exponentially scale the number of franchises that you had. What was different? I would guess in setting up your business model that made it a bit different. Because I mean, to my mind, no, I often think about when I look at you, you're scaling the same way that Filipino Homes, my other idol over here, see Boston Notario ng Filipino Homes. I mean,
Uh,
the way he scaled the business is because if you look at how he's doing the business, it's the idea that he took it's innovative because he took his learnings from direct selling, right, and reapplied that concepts to
Real
selling
estate.
real estate sales, and from motivation, from inspiration, from setting up the commission structures and everything, worked very very well. He's the largest real estate sales company here right now. I mean, and I'm looking at you. You were able to do 500 plus franchises in 5 years. Was there also a way that you saw the business model differently? Like, nakita mo, okay, ganito pala mag-franchising yung mga tao, I can do something different that will expand it faster. How did you, I mean, is that correct in my thinking that you thought of franchising in a different way than other people think of franchising?
Yeah, maybe, Sir RJ, it's about philosophy. It's about your business philosophy. My business philosophy is to offer the best that we can give and to always innovate, because it's very important to innovate and to meet the challenges at all times with a good innovations, with a good team, because the core and mission is to improve lives. And ako po, hindi ako natatakot to fail because I see that this is opportunities to learn. So as an entrepreneur, as a franchisor, dapat hindi kayo takot mag-fail because it's an opportunities for us to learn, to learn,
Exactly.
to learn, to learn, and to succeed. And when you have a good business philosophy, Sir RJ, and you offer the best that you can give to your clients, I think it's very impossible to bring it to the top of your of the kind of dreams that you want to hit for your people, for your family, for your clients, for you, for yourself, with your achievements. And that thing I'm very proud of with iFranchise, because it's not just kasi po hindi ko to lahat magagawa na ako lang. I always bring my team with me and every achievements na meron ako, my family, from my employees, my managers, my top management, my clients. Because I guess I'm lucky and very fortunate enough to have a good team with the same mission, with my business philosophy.
Wow. Talking about your team over here, Robert Cadlas says over here, super proud to be part of iFranchise. Kita mo yan, Strauss, yan, super proud to be part of iFranchise. We also have over here Ivory Joy Lee Mendoza. Her key difference is her heart to help, the intentional and genuine concern towards her people and the community. And I like this one over here. Marvin Gerong saying, my inspiration, very hardworking CEO. He's watching all the way from Davao. And I like what Ivory Joy Lee Mendoza said. That's beyond the business model, what she's doing. That's right, beyond the business model. Once we understand the business philosophy, now we understand the business model that she was working with. Now, let's go back again to the story. I hope you don't mind, Krizzia, because very parang where a lot of entrepreneurs are also watching the show. That's why I really take time to get the whole story. Para alam nila kung, anong pinagdaanan mo to get there. Sometimes step by step, you have to just tell people where you came from. Now, when you left and you put up your own company, what did you decide to be your, parang, syempre the biggest part over there is, how did you decide what would be the first franchise that you would put up? And then, saan mo nakuha yung puhunan para magsimula sa first franchise business mo? When you went, nung umalis ka na?
Every time I look back from this humble beginning in doing business, nakakatuwa lang po talagang isipin kasi malaki kasi talagang percentage, Sir RJ, yung pagiging risk taker. Kasi kahit yung ibang OFW, kahit may puhunan, syempre yung iba, mga professionals, nagtrabaho sa ibang bansa, pag uwi, may malaking ipon. So kahit minsan malaki yung ipon mo, kung ayaw mo naman mag-take ng risk, wala talagang madadagdag. Siguro yung pagkakaiba lang po talaga. And alam ko, marami din kagaya ko na mga risk takers dyan, na mga overseas Filipino workers, lalo yung mga ambisyoso. Actually, good at, advantage yun natin sa business eh. Yung pagiging ambisyoso natin, but sa tamang pamamaraan. You know what, if you're fearless, if you're a risk taker, and you have the capacity to invest, please go with the kind of business na into franchising kasi hindi po kayo magkakamali. Ako, siguro yung naging advantage ko, Boss RJ, is that I have a good friends before when I worked as an overseas Filipino worker. May mga Singaporean Indian friends ako na talagang idolize me kahit OFW kami, magkakasama kami. Nakikita nila na sobrang sipag ko na yung trabaho nila. Minsan inaako ko na nakikita nila on how I am being helpful to them as their colleague, katrabaho, as OFW. So they help me also. When I talk to them that I'm going to put up my own business, I want to put up a franchise stores in the call centers, call center units, tatlo. I want to work with good people. I want to look for good consultants, good partners, top caliber chefs in the Philippines. So they're very supportive to me. So, and also my family. That's the most important thing. And with that, siguro, every time that I will share my experiences from the past, I would always not to forget to share to them that I always start any task on my daily, I will never forget to start my task every day. I will always start it with a prayer and end with a prayer. Yun lang siguro, Sir RJ. Kaya siguro mas blessed tayo na hindi natin nasasamahan at hindi natin nakakasama yung mga maling tao, napupunta tayo sa mga tamang tao.
Tama,
And
I agree. I understand.
Mga dapat.
And then when you were doing that, so when you started off, your friends, the Singaporean Indian, did they help provide some initial funding for you to start off the franchising business, or lahat ng pera galing sa'yo?
Two of my friends partnered with me. Two of my Singaporean friends partnered with me in this call center franchise stores na tatlo. So they invested, I think if I'm not mistaken, siguro parang 50,000 before yung franchise eh. Way back.
Yun yung pinakaunang franchise mo?
Pinakauna pa before. Siyempre nandun pa 50,000, but siyempre during my time yung 50,000 naman, ang hirap ipunin. So, tatlo kami, naghati-hati. Ako yung 80%, sila yung 20%. So, naghati sila sa 20%. And then, from my 80%, yung dating pinapadala ko sa lolo't lola ko, hiniram ko ulit, inutang ko para idagdag sa puhunan ko. So, imagine, pinadala mo na para sa magulang mo, para makasustain yung living nila doon sa probinsya. Pero kailangan kong hiramin kasi isusugal ko sa napuhunan sa pagninegosyo. Pero hindi po kasi ako nag-worry na hindi ko maibalik. In fact, on a matter of 4 months, na ibalik ko sa kanila yung naging puhunan ko na nahiram. Kasi po mas lumago yung negosyo na nagkaroon ako ng sarili kong commissary, nagkaroon na ako ng mas maraming branches. So, yun.
And then, when you opened up your own business na, nung umalis ka na sa, yung una, di ba, yung as VP franchising, you put up your own, ano yung puhunan mo para magsimula ulit dyan? Yan yung pera noon? Yung ano? Saan yung capital mo dyan? Saan nagsimula ng mula yung capital mo dyan?
From the franchising na. From the franchising.
From the business na mismo. When you put it up, you were getting the money from the franchisors to set up the
Yes.
businesses. From the franchisees.
Yes, and of course, the business model. And then, since I put up my own commissary, I put up my own office, I have my own concepts, and with the good people to work with. So, doon na po nag-start, lumaki yung negosyo.
What was the first franchise that you put up? At bakit yan yung pinili mong i-start, dyan mag-start?
Actually, Sir RJ, when we started our my brainchild food caravan, 10 agad yung business concepts.
Para ikaw rin, three concession, 3 stands ka agad, 10 businesses ka agad.
Naman ako, 10 naman. Because I have this from appetizer to main course to dessert na mga food kiosk. So it's a caravan design. It's very millennial. My brainchild called it food caravan. That's our first concept in iFranchise. From our humble beginning as franchising company. So doon po kami nag-start hanggang sa mga naging coffee shop na, restaurants, hanggang sa nagkaroon na ng fuel station, hanggang sa nagkaroon na po ngayon ng healthcare, pharmacy, and convenience store, and of course, yung bago, yung iFarm.
Wow. So everything started off with the 10 concepts that you had. The 10 food concepts were the first one that you started off with, di ba? How did you know? Kasi syempre, ibang entrepreneur, there's times when you are not going to be successful. You said that you learned so much from failure. Can I just ask, was there a point na when you put up everything, medyo natakot ka, you were afraid that you would not succeed? Anong low point mo medyo nung kasi lahat ng entrepreneur may low point naman yan, di ba? When you were starting off again by yourself, was there a point that feeling mo, oh no, I might not do well, I might not succeed? Did you have any doubt when you were doing this business?
Doubt, being afraid of losing or failing. I can't remember, Sir RJ. I guess hindi ko siya na-feel. I guess because of being fearless and self-taker, and of course, before you start your business, you really have to have a good business model and reliable business concept. I guess what brought me to where I am or the company right now, siguro po yung 100% trust on the business model that will not give you the chance to be afraid of failing.
You know, I'm impressed by Krizzia. When I'm seeing as I talk to you, there's a difference between I failed in business and I feel like a failure. Because you said earlier on, in business, sometimes you fail, but it's an opportunity for learning. But for you, you don't feel like a failure. Ibig sabihin, pag ma-fail, okay lang because it's part of doing business, di ba? Am I right?
Yes, and you learn. You succeed. Learn. Yeah.
Okay, so if I was going to ask you that question, what was the biggest learning that you had from a failure in doing business?
Again, sorry, Sir RJ.
Anong pinakamalaking lesson mo from a failure that you had business? What's the best lesson that you got from a failure that you had?
Of course, not all concepts I have work out. But for me, it is more about the people I have worked with, the people I have trained, and then left or stayed. But I am always open in talking about new talent, nurturing new business concepts, and actually to share with also RJ, I am also involved with OFW family party list, which unfortunately did not make it in the last election, but I am still committed to helping our kababayans abroad towards their safety and their welfare. In fact, we're going to open iFranchise Portugal.
Wow,
And
congratulations.
yes, and I am too preoccupied that really to stop and think about developing more and more business models to help our kababayans, to help our iFamily. Yes, and we're going to open iFranchise Portugal soon. In fact, I'm already um fixing my business visa to hopefully execute a business license there, because my part one of our franchisee from Portugal is inviting us to be there to sign and execute the business office for iFranchise, because merami tayong mga natulungan na OFW, Sir RJ, na mga nagkaroon ng
Wow.
negosyo franchise, lumago, and na-refer na lang na-refer sa iba't ibang bansa. But of course, at the end of the day, lagi kong sinasabi to, Sir RJ, there is no perfect company. In fact, there is no perfect president to manage a business, but there is no perfect business, but I know and I can claim it to myself and to our company that we're one of the best. Kasi po, if you're client-oriented and you know how you care about the welfare of your people, siguro yun yung recipe kaya nagtatagal and mas tumatatag yung kumpanya. And napatunayan niya ng napakaraming entrepreneur nung napagdaanan natin yung pandemya.
Wow. I just want to read the other comments over here from Ish Main iFranchise. Proud of you, Madam, watching here from Davao Oriental. John Badyong, proud to be part of iFranchise. Rica Legado Beso, a CEO with a good heart for people. You're my inspiration, President Krizzia. And of course, from Jake Lanuzo Adiga saying, congratulations, iFranchise International na. Really great job with what you're doing over here. Krizzia, can I just ask, the other thing I'm also very curious about is that you scaled so fast. I mean, you what was the strategy to grow very fast? Is it because you had multiple franchises that you created, which made it grow, or is that just part of the strategy that you had? Because to grow it that much and that fast is not, that other franchises who've been more established haven't been able to do the same thing that you've been doing.
I think two things, Sir RJ. To be in love of what you're doing, and second, um, to really care about the welfare of your people. So that two leads you to a good growth momentum of your business.
Okay. And then another thing that also, as I was listening to you as you expanded, because you began from food and beverage, but then eventually you branched out into other things, diba? Health and wellness,
Have I,
pharmacy.
Sir RJ, I have iPharmart, pharmacy and convenience store. So, because I see healthcare that is as one of the opportunities for growth, because people have been more aware of the importance of taking care of themselves after the pandemic. So we opened up this iPharmart business concept. It was born during pandemic time. So now we're expanding globally. In fact, we're going to have our grand opening next week sa Silang Cavite, and then
Wow.
followed by Antipolo branch, and then 12 more branches all over the Philippines hanggang Zamboanga. Meron na po kaming iPharma Mart, because at the beginning during the pandemic time, we were all at wait and see mode. Hindi natin alam kung anong mangyayari, hanggang saan, kailan matatapos. But when the lockdown started to happen, it was really thinking of how to help our iFamily, our investors, to have another business concept that will really prove na kaya even during the pandemic time. And number one talaga is yung mga access of healthcare. And because yung mga healthcare needs, we want to expand iPharma Mart that will be present in the communities here in the Philippines.
How did you? Because I mean, it's amazing because the idea is that from food, how did you know which next industry? Because it's totally different from, di ba, food and beverage. Medyo alam mo na yan, di ba? But you were getting into other industries which you weren't too familiar with personally. How did you develop the expertise? I mean, how did you know which one to get into? How did you develop the expertise to get into these newer uh, newer franchise models outside of food and beverage?
Yeah. Same as what we did with food business. Though I came from food and beverage industry, Sir RJ, still I look for the best consultants to work with. The same thing with my fuel business and pharmacy, and now with real estate iFarm. So I always made sure that I will be working with the best and good people, reliable and trusted people in this kind of business models. So we're very fortunate to find good suppliers with good reputation in the Philippine market. Just like very recently with iPharmaMart, we just ink our contract with we will ink our contract with Get Pharma, one of the largest pharmaceutical in Pakistan. Na of course visible then for about 2 decades in the Philippines. And with fuel industry also, we're working with few importers now, big
Wow.
importers in the Philippines. And with real estates, of course, I will be working with you and with more consultants with us in this business. So, siguro po yun, nothing is impossible. Doing business with coming from different industries will not require you to stop you from doing it. In
I
fact,
got that.
there my strategies lang talaga, and it's about learning and executing it well.
Yeah. And I guess what I'm seeing really here is the humility to say that I need consultants to grow the business. I need the best. Parang no need for me to reinvent the wheel. I'll just get the best consultants to help me put up the businesses. And that is really what helped you really grow the business. I can see that much better, much better now. Um,
Yeah.
and when you did put up all these businesses, for those listening to us here right now and you want to acquire an iFranchise, no? Or if you want to acquire at the same time, or if you want to be part of the iFranchise uh, freelance agents of iFranchise. Strauss, can you please go over here online and show us? Can you please put the Facebook page where they can contact iFranchise right now over here, the Facebook page, Strauss. At the same time, so that's www.facebook.com/iFranchiseOfficialPH. Okay, just visit that one if you want to learn more about iFranchise. So right now, Krisha, can you tell me in detail what are the different food franchises that you have? What are the different fuel franchises that people at least know? I know we were mentioning a lot during the course of our conversation, but what are they? What are all of them right now? How many do you have? How many concepts do you have right now?
Yeah, okay, so we have food concepts. Yung pinakabago, because three business concepts were born because of pandemic. The iFarm,
Okay, we lost Christian there. Come back. There you are. You're back.
okay, because three businesses during pandemic were born. First is iFarm, to offer Filipinos a place to relax while experiencing the beautiful nature in Ponce Tagaytay. Second, yung Wendeli, to offer Filipinos opportunity to earn a livelihood while staying at home. So we have Wendeli food frozen business. Kasama na dyan yung mga food caravan pa namin na 5 years na. And iPharma Mart, which will give you more Filipinos access to their healthcare needs, because we will be present in their communities. And fuel station, which is iFuel. So with
Wow.
iFuel, we have we're we have Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. In fact, hanggang Marawi. So we have stations in Marawi. We have two stations there, Zamboanga, Cebu, North and South Luzon. So yun yung mga businesses na meron si iFranchise for those who might be interested to franchise with iFranchise. Yung page lang po namin, bibisitahin nila, or they can also visit our office in Green Hills, Fox Square Building, Connecticut, or they can get in touch with our accredited franchise brokers.
Great. I like this comment here from Jean MJ Verde. Good evening. Hi from Katarman, Samar. We are very proud of our kababayan, Krisha. Unti-unting nakikilala ang aming lugar dahil sa kanya. Ang buong Northern Samar ay sobrang proud sa kanya. Keep up the good work, madam. Ayan. Proud probinsyana. Proud Samareña. So congratulations. You're doing really good job. People are so happy with what you're doing.
Thank you.
Now, Krisha, if people still want to come in and become an iFranchisee, let's say, for example, they want to take part over here, how can you just give us an idea? I mean, baka may mga OFW na nakikinig dito ngayon. They want an iFranchise or even locals. Can you give us an idea of maybe how much is it? How much investment do they need to start off? How do they go about it?
Yeah, investments will start from Windeli 5,000 pesos, 10,000 to start a livelihood program, franchise from 650,000 to 1.2 million. iFuel starts from 1.5 million. Pharmacy convenience store, iPharmaMart starts from 650,000 to 1 million. And we only not require them to have a capital investment. But of course, the most important requirement that we need is their commitment to manage the business. Kasi madami po kasi mga overseas Filipino workers na gusto lang magpadala ng puhunan tapos
Oo.
hindi na alam kung sino yung magmamanage ng negosyo. So it is very important as well for us to really connect with the operator kung sino yung gusto nilang bigyan o magmamanage ng business while they're still working abroad. And yung po yung tuturuan namin. We're also very strict, Sir RJ, to um to release a contract or let them execute the franchise business because we want them to be successful. So it is very important to have and attend a proper trainings and a good communication and coordination between the franchisor and the franchisee.
Got that. Krisha, you know what? I learned so much from our talk here right now. Tingnan mo lang, it's already 7:56. I didn't think we would almost take an hour to discuss your life story over here. But it's really very inspiring. You've shared how you've grown the business and how being a risk taker is important. How saying failure is just you just have to learn that failure is part of the learning process that you have in doing business, and that don't be scared about getting consultants help you grow the business because they parang don't reinvent the wheel. Nandiyan na sila lahat eh. Got the
Yes, yes.
great insights I gained from you. But then aside from that one, I want to go back to you again. You've had you're still very you're still a young businesswoman. You've learned so much. If you were to give us like three of your biggest business life lessons for future entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, struggling entrepreneurs right now, what would those lessons be?
Okay, Sir RJ, someone just asked me, is there something that you haven't accomplished yet? So, lagi yung natatanong actually po sa akin. And I have so many dreams in my life. And I don't think I will ever come to a point when I will think and say, I've made it. Because there is so much work to be done, and it will always um it will always point towards helping others and uplifting lives, especially our kababayans, because the main mission of our iFuel and iFranchise is to fuel the Filipino future. Um and with that, Sir RJ, kailangan lang po laging maintindihan ng bawat nagninegosyo, bawat naghahanap ng trabaho, na lagi lang nilang mahalin, pangalagaan at isa puso yung bawat bagay na ginagawa nila. So, i-apply lang nila din yan sa negosyo. Kasi hindi lang to about sa pagkakaroon ng kapital, pagkakaroon ng puhunan. But of course, to execute a business, you have to be very hands-on, or you have to properly delegate it to the perfect or best team to work with. So, yun lang po.
Wow. Krisha, thanks so much for all the inspiration you've given to all of us. Thanks to all those from the iFranchise family. I just want to read a couple of more over here. John Mark Pelino saying, congratulations, Madam Krizzia Ann Loyang Tanabe. Congratulations, iFranchise over here. From Ken Cruz, iFranchise Worldwide, Heart, and Belle Bernice, Heart. A lot of people that you're inspiring over here, Krisha. Hopefully, we get more people to become part of the iFranchise family, whether as accredited agents or people who also want to get franchises. You know where to look. Let's just flash one more time on screen the Facebook page of iFranchise so that they know how to get in touch with you. Christian, good luck to your project. I'm looking forward to working together with you for iFarm and also with Mercato as well, di ba? We're going to be
Yeah.
in each other's families.
I look forward with that, Boss RJ. And also, maybe I could take this chance to invite our viewers. Of course, I want to thank you for having me today. I know you have so many lists of perfect personalities and entrepreneurs, but naimbitahan niyo po ako na
Oh,
mag-join sa
syempre.
nyo, Sir RJ. Maraming maraming salamat. And I would never forget saying thank you to my family, offline and online. Maraming salamat sa pagtitiwala at the perfect cooperation and teamwork to work with para mapagtulungan natin yung pangarap ng bawat isa. And yung pagtitiwala ng mga franchises natin, do napagdaanan natin yung pandemya, um, hindi naging madali, pero lahat po naman nalampasan. And we're growing on our momentum again. And thank you, Lord, for all of this. And I would like to invite our viewers, Boss RJ, tomorrow we're going out. Tomorrow we're going to have our WOFEX in Davao. We will be joining. iFranchise will be joining WOFEX Davao starting tomorrow. And there's one more pa, AFI Expo in Eastwood area. So nandun din po kami. Please visit our booth, Davao and Eastwood in Luzon, to get to know more about iFranchise, or please get in touch with brokers. And for sure, they will be very much willing to assist you po.
Well, thanks so much for giving so many Filipinos the opportunity to become their own entrepreneurs through franchising. Good luck. God bless you, Krizzia. Looking forward to a long and great partnership together with you. Again, thanks to everybody for listening to the RJ Ledesma Podcast. We will see you in the next podcast. Again, guys, thanks so much. We'll see you the next time. Krizzia, wait first. Hang around, ha? Huwag mo nang alis. Bye, guys. Thanks, iFranchise family.